was that tier 1 tower bottom, when the very first big death ward from Fear. He threw the Ravage when the damage had already been done by the casting death ward. If he was there instantly with the Ravage and canceling death ward as soon as started casting, LGD win that fight, and the game kind of progresses in a very different way. So I think that was one fight where he could have been positioned a bit better, whereas you look at Fear, he was in the perfect position every single fight.
Yeah, this is not a game that LGD lost because of RETK.
No.
Definitely not. I mean, again, I think the two comparisons are the Sumail lane early on, where I was definitely wrong. I thought the Lina would just destroy him. Didn't happen. And then there's the Witch Doctor versus the Sven. Like,
the one last thing I want, before we talk about this next draft, I feel like the one pick that LG's done in the past, and we've seen a bit in the qualifiers, was Kunkka. Kunkka to me is like Sven, but better as a support. The boat, as far as damage negation goes, is way better than what Warcry gives you. To me, it's just like a much more reliable roaming full position hero. But
yeah, I mean, yeah, it just doesn't have the short cooldown Warcry, I guess. That's the only, but
yeah.
But I kind of agree with you. And now they take out Sumail's bat, so maybe they agree with me that this is the bat rider to be afraid of in the tournament.
So what are we looking for from LGD here? Obviously, they need to Witch Doctor, yeah. They need to change some things up. They need to. Oh, do they need to change something up? Was it the draft?
Well, both these teams will change things up by their own nature. Like they're not going to have set drafts that they're going to like keep on going back to. They may pick something like a Gyrocopter again for Sylar because it's such a standard pick for him, but they're going to be very reactionary throughout, from going from pick to pick.
It's crazy to me how some of these heroes like Witch Doctor can, in just certain matchups, regardless of what the real meta is for the patch. I mean, Witch Doctor's a very good hero on this patch, but we have not seen him first pick, first ban material this entire tournament.
But it could go there now. I mean, we were saying like maybe this is like just been a very underrated hero, because actually all of the games both these teams have had it in the tournament, it's been really good for them.
It's also much easier for Witch Doctor to farm up his Ags now, because whichever lane he goes to, it's really easy for him to just go and throw a quick cask if he has the mana and farm up some creeps in the jungle and get to that really fast Ags. So, and Aether Lens helps him out a lot as well. I think he's one of the better Aether Lens support purchases.
Yeah, so speaking of Etherlane support purchases, I think it's really good on Venge, although usually support Venges end up having to go for 4-star for something like that, but something that EG was doing for most of the tournaments, going for the first pick Vengeful Spirit, and I thought it was a sign of like, it's good in the push, it's good against the push, but I mean, they're going for it here anyway. I don't know if that is a sign that they're going to put together a bit more of a push strategy. I don't see why they'd expect, I mean, or maybe because LGD have the Witch Doctor there.
It's also guaranteed counter to death ward. Like you've got swap there to cancel it off right away.
And it's so versatile. RTZ has now been able to play Vengeful Spirit, so it just opens up so many other levels of their draft without giving away too much. It's just a solid early pick.
Ooh,
and Sumail Zeus, this is another, it could be Universe Zeus, but it's probably Sumail Zeus. I guess it depends on the rest of the draft, but this is another hero that EG has not picked yet, that Sumail loves to play. Like when Sumail was first getting into the scene, he was just really playing Shadow Fiend and a couple of other heroes. Zeus was the one kind of fallback hero that he would pick when they had banned out a lot of Sumail heroes, when you couldn't get Storm or Shadow Fiend.
And honestly, I think like seeing this draft here, like this is what makes EG versus LGD like the most interesting matchup of the tournament, because they will just pick completely different drafts going from game to game. There's no, I mean, there's kind of a metagame that kind of develops within the set series, like with Witch Doctor getting highly prioritized, but you just don't quite know what they're going to be doing going in. It's very different to like when you're going into a game with like a team like Alliance or a team with Liquid. You know that they're going to prioritize like the Jarek's Tusk, the Earth Spirit, prioritize the typical Alliance heroes.
Right.
And most teams are like that. EG, LGD are like the two big exceptions where they're just going to do their own thing, develop their own like little storyline.
If you go with the Witch Doctor metagame analysis, then the Zeus pick is also really good for that, because we've seen so many times the Witch Doctor hiding away channeling. We're saying Venge is meant to swap, well, Zeus ulti, now you can see, get that swap off.
Do you feel like Venge is going to be for RTZ?
It's
this game
up in the air. It's really EG themselves. All they've seen is a Witch Doctor. They don't see a single core hero. I think EG haven't decided. So
I mean, if
I don't feel like I can decide.
If we're thinking of Venge as a counter to Witch Doctor, it's more likely PPD. You don't want your carry to have to be like on counter the enemy support duty.
Yep. I mean, maybe they consider the Zeus sufficient enough, but yeah, it's very likely that it could be a support.
Whoa, that's an early Tidehunter.
So clearly they don't think RTK's Tide was the problem last game.
No, they actually are afraid of it. Maybe.
I think a big thing about the Tide pickup is traditionally, like when I've seen Zeus's get picked up a lot against Vega, like Vega's being the team who picks it a lot, teams will instantly reply with something like a Darkseer, which is banned out this game because it's a hero that will buy the mech and the pipe for the team. Tide is the same thing. It's a natural mech into pipe builder. You don't even have to go the Blink Dagger, which is kind of becoming more and more common to often skip the Blink. So this is like the good way of dealing with Zeus at all stages of the game.
We were also saying in the previous game, before the first team fights, we thought LGD had a much stronger team fight, and I think that was kind of true, except that we underrated the Witch Doctor's impact on those fights. And this time they've got the Witch Doctor, so they can go into that similar position where they're just confident going into the 5v5 maybe.
They've got the Witch Doctor heal as well, which is something which also I think we didn't even talk about last game. I don't think Fear leveled up Maledict.
I don't think so, yeah. I think he had heal.
Yeah, I just always saw his heal on like the mid-fight. He had his heal on and he's just blocking so much of that damage. Like he did all the damage he did without Maledict. He kept his sustained his team as well. So you look at like just Witch Doctor Tide alone, EG's got to be thinking about a plan where they're not going to have like for this game where they're not going to have the better team fight, because right now all signs point towards LGD having the team fight edge.
What kind of hero we're gonna see from EG to try and get some team fight on their own?
Look at that beautiful American flag, freedom. Oh,
wow.
We're bringing freedom to Belarus.
Where's that Donald Trump theme song? We need it.
Oh, that reminds me of
Do you think
people
Donald Trump
watching
would know what
Obama
Belarus is on the map? Would he be able to say like, that's what Belarus is?
Probably more so than some of the other candidates. Let's not
Okay.
get into politics.
All right. Fair enough. Brian.
No, but
I don't know
I mean, you want
politics.
some team fight on the side of EG too, right? You've already got the setup with Avenge. If he's going to be a support, you can at least initiate that way. You've got some damage coming out from the Zeus. But what kind of control type of hero would you like to see coming out from EG for that team fight? They already removed the Void from the pool. That got banned out, so...
EG have also really liked Enigma in this tournament. They've picked a lot of Enigma.
Yes.
They've done well. Well, I think they've won twice with it and lost once with it. They actually they won when Fear played it. They lost when Universe played it, but I'm not sure that that's actually the significant.
To me, that's like maybe a very likely fourth ban. I think you want to target some of these team fight options. The Void and the Darkseid already banned out. Target something like the Enigma as a fourth ban going into the next pick stage is probably a good way to kind of approach it for LGD.
And Witch Doctor's a good support to have if you want to run a jungler to just like solo help the lane. So I definitely think that there's a... oh wait, no, that's the Witch Doctor's on LGD this time.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
okay, ignore what I just said.
But
Oh wow, what he got the Christmas tree. Sumail did in the last match.
How
He
did he
found
get
that
that?
somewhere. That was the gingerbread cookie from one of the.
I would like to change my cookie. Damn it.
he's pulling a Lil, just clowning around with his ending eye.
To be honest, there are
next
still a
level.
lot of Christmas trees up
Yeah,
around here.
absolutely.
I don't think it's been Orthodox Christmas yet.
It has.
I
Oh, it
like
has been?
January. It's like
It was
Like a
last
week
week.
and a half ago.
Last
or a
week,
week
okay,
ago?
okay.
Yeah,
or pass.
something like
But-
that.
I'm kind of with Scan. I think most likely it's a support Venge, not partly because of what you said, where it's like if that's the reason, that's the way they're going to counter the Witch Doctor. It's kind of makes more sense to do as a support, but also because I think EG has seen their most success with Arteezy on like true carries, like his OD, whatever it may be. I don't think they want to be putting Arteezy on something like Avenge again, even though they did win that one game.
What are the signs of like, when do you know it's a good OD game? Because I mean,
EG have second picked it, so it's great against Tide actually. It's really good against Tide just because you're going to rack up the intel, but just by right-clicking him over and over again.
And the Fear Enigma.
Yep.
So okay, I maybe have to
Or
slightly
Universe Enigma.
As soon as I see the Enigma, it kind of makes me second guess about the Arteezy Venge, just because this is a hero that will be greedy, take a lot of farm up on the map.
Exactly. I don't think
But-
it's Universe Enigma. I'm pretty certain it's Fear Enigma.
Yep. Okay.
What did they run for Universe when they had the Arteezy Venge? Was that when he was a Nature's Prophet?
Yeah, I
Or
think
like
so.
the Lone
so.
Druid? Because if you want to run like the safe lane Venge, I think you want like with a Zeus mid, I think you want Universe on some like off lane damage heal, which is more like the Nature's Prophet. So
Right.
I think still looking like it's looking like an okay
It's
OD
just
game.
and it's almost certainly just going to be like a solo safe. A solo offlane Tide Hunter, and running like a Vengeful Spirit dual lane doesn't really. Tide is just going to fall back to the jungle. You don't really dominate the lane as much. Like you don't get as much out of dominating the lane against the Tide Hunter because he can just fall back to the side camp and farm it. He can even stack agents and farm them. So.
What is the right scenario for LGD to pick up a Morphling, by the way?
They pick Morphling when they just think that they can withstand the mid game and just keep Sylar alive and not give enough gold to the enemy team and then just win late.
Morph's quite bad against Zeus generally.
Exactly.
it's also just not the pick against EG because EG are not going to put themselves on a timer. That's how I feel.
Exactly.
And you've got percent damage from Zeus and Enigma. Like it's.
I almost guarantee it'll be last picks for Sylar's hero. They might go back for something weird like a Slark or something. That's what they've been doing a lot when they feel kind of backed up against the wall. They won't pick Sylar's hero until last because I think that gives away their game plan the most. And they've done a couple of last pick Slarks this tournament and this patch. So I wouldn't be surprised if that comes out.
I think it's an okay Weaver game as well. As much as that's been kind of an out of metagame hero, I like what it brings to the table. Like it's not quite as strong as like with the Morphling for Sylar, but to me, it doesn't get countered as much by like the Zeus Enigma and stuff.
Yeah.
I actually think that EG seeing the Night Stalker pick might move Enigma back to offlane because I actually think LGD picked, it's an MMY Night Stalker, right?
Almost
So,
certainly.
yes.
They've
They've got
so they picked a support Night Stalker, and I think it's partially because they think there's a jungler, and so they can take advantage of that. And I don't think in the current meta that support Night Stalker is as good as it was necessarily in the previous meta. If the enemy team doesn't have, so if they then run the offlane Enigma and just have like strong lanes.
It also shows LG want to win the team fights by having it's a vision hero themselves. So, like you've got Zeus Ultimate on the side of EG, now they've got the Night Stalker vision.
And the Juggernaut response.
So far, what kind of peak point do you feel like the teams are aiming at? When do you feel like they're going to be at their best?
I don't feel EG actually picked timing drafts so much. I mean, they have certain timings where they're going to be strong, but like Scan kind of mentioned, like they're not going to be worried about draft. They're not going to draft towards more so against LGD than maybe other teams towards like, oh, we've got to win the game by this time, or we can't go late game. We saw that much more in the series yesterday, where Alliance versus Secret, where there was almost every game one team who had to do well early, otherwise they lose late. But
and they do go Morphling. Okay.
The incredible thing here about EG's drafts is that I don't think they're going for a push strat, but actually they kind of have push. They've got really good push. They've got the Venge with the Aura, they've got the Juggernaut healing ward, the Enigma Eidolon, so it's like if they get that advantage early on, they can definitely push it. And maybe there's this bizarre thing where you and I have talked a lot about how Morphling is really bad against push strategies because you don't even come online, but then we're like, well, Silas Morphling can do it, and I almost feel like LGD like to pick it against push strategies.
In the reflection of the cup, you see the guy sitting on the hoverboard.
nice.
That's amazing.
You know, my theory on Morphling is, I mean, someone asked, like, I
don't know why he's not getting dizzy.
Someone asked me, when do you pick Morphling?
Oh, there you go!
Oh, he's having fun.
I like that shot a lot.
Conditions for picking Morphling is having Sylar on your team. That's like the condition for me. If you don't have Sylar on your team, you don't pick Morphling.
I think you kind of you almost have to throw away most conditions for when Morphin is good or not, because Sylar just plays such a good morph. He makes it work in almost every situation.
And they ban out the AA to protect the Morphling. That's a very good ban.
Yes.
10 seconds.
Also kind of shows that they're having still the option also in the back of the mind to Universal play that Enigma.
And it's a very different approach for LGD. Last game they picked maybe Zero first, and this game they're leaving it for last.
Elder Titan, I almost said it! I didn't say it in time, I was gonna say it, I might pick Elder Titan for Universe! No!
No!
Yes! I was gonna say it! No.
EG were ready for the Morphling, and...
Oh, God.
So sometimes you don't get the credit you deserve.
And it kind of gives them that. I think EG are looking pretty good for the team fight now. I don't think they look that bad at all.
Yeah. LGD's last pick is the maybe hero though, so like I feel like you can't even see what LGD's draft is until this last pick comes.
How's the Shadow Fiend in this matchup?
Looks like a good SF.
I think Shadow, maybe is one of the few heroes or few guys that are still showing how good Shadow Fiend could be, and they'll go TA instead. I think TA is good.
Maybe he's gonna be really hungry this game. I feel like he's like, you know, Sumail had the shiny performance last game, and he wants to have a turn.
Yep.
Yeah.
So is LGD gonna make it to a third game? It's the question.
I hope so.
You hope so? Do you think so?
I'm excited we get to see a new hero, and I'm also excited to hopefully see a game 3.
Okay, K-pop.
I think they could. The Elder Titan pickup against the Morphling makes it really hard, because what LG likes to do is just have Sylar not die when they're playing Morphling, and Elder Titan is the one hero that can really help burst down a Morphling super fast. So we'll see, but I do favor EG.
I like EG's draft, but Sylar Morphling just seems to win. So
okay. Let's see if they can do it again with the Sylar Morphling. It is time for game 2 between EG and LGD with ODPixel and Luminous.
Indeed, thank you very much. And game 2, I mean, we can already tell from the draft, Lumi, this is going to be absolutely insane. We've got your Elder Titans, we've got once again EG bringing that Enigma roll back in. And then of course the side of LGD, they get that classic Sylar Morphling. I mean, I don't know about you, but from this draft, do you feel that LGD has what it takes to bring this to a game 3 and to take EG down this time?
They've been definitely winning with these heroes, but they have to play so much better. Because yeah, sure, they got the Sylar Morphling, but it's like a Sylar Morphling with like all of the best counters in the game. Apart from silences, you have, I'm going to take away all your base armor. I'm going to take away a lot of your magic resistance. On top of that, I have percentage damage from the Zeus static field, from the Midnight Pulse. And then you got lightning bolts, you got global for scouting. Sure, you got a Sylar Morphling, but Sylar has to remind us why he's so good at this game.
Holy crap! Not in hacked! Oh, Steven! Zex! Oh, Funk! Fear! MMY! PPD! Sylar, some of the players we're going to be seeing today. Go! We're in! Dota 2! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm ODPixel, I'm here joined by Lumi. Game 2! EG versus LGD. And one pick I want to talk to you about as well, that final pick TA. What's up with the TA? Is this a TA game?
TA gets you fine against Zeus on the mid lane. It's a hero that you could kind of give you a ton of vision, because you got to keep in mind against Zeus in the mid game, a lot of your wards are going to get removed from the map. While traps, you could keep throwing them out, you could put them in the Roshan pit, and I think that is going to be a contention point. Also a fairly decent hero against the Juggernaut. If you get Omni Slash, you could hide, you could pop your refraction, so maybe this is a comfort hero for maybe that's why they're leaning on it.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe perhaps. The other hero would have been Shadow Fiend. I thought that probably would have been bit better, but you know, again, comfort pick probably is trumping it.
And let's see. Yeah, I think the only other time that we've seen so far in this LAN was, of course, when LGD did pick it up.
Yes.
Themselves RTK player.
They love that hero.
And it was the kind of straight to jungle Elder Titan. Universe, he's not doing any of that. He's going to start off in the lane, see how that goes down at the bottom. He's going to be up against this Morphling Witch Doctor lane at this point. As we're seeing a bit of a 2-1-2 coming out. Night Stalker for LGD is going to start up at the top, helping out the Titans by the looks of it.
Yep. Tidehunter against a melee hero, he shouldn't really need help. In fact, RTC being very aggressive. He needs to really spin his way out of there. No, he'll just walk it, but taking a little bit more posture. Now PPD says, take me too, as they hit him a couple of times.
So I mean, considering these lanes, I guess you've got to say overall it is stronger for LGD because EG obviously have that jungler. You know, Enigma's going to be off the lane. So would you say overall we could expect LGD to come out on top of the first 3 minutes of the game?
If the lanes stay passive as it is right now, then I absolutely agree. And sure, RTZ is not going to have the best farm, but like you're saying, Fair will make it up. The other concern is Elder Titan. You know, is he going to be able to hit his level 9, 10, and 11? That's where he really starts to take off, where he can max his aura, max his stun. Or sorry, not the stun, the spirit. And for now, it looks like he's getting a decent amount of experience on the bottom lane.
Universe, he's been able to move. And I guess this is one of the pluses for him, at least, running the 2-1-2 LGD. He's not going to be super vulnerable to being taken down. It's mid lane matchup at the moment, 9-1-9-1. So, as you said, the TA is strong against the Zeus in the sense that you've got their refraction to avoid losing too much health. But at the same time, the Zeus is going to still farm here until at least, I guess, the level 6 point. Once you get those traps, then Sumail's got to be careful.
Yeah, I was talking to Winter about this yesterday. Maybe when maybe turns level 5, your refraction is higher damage than his arc lightning. You can actually start denying creeps against Zeus, but again, that's, you know, comes down to how good maybe is last hitting, which I'm sure he is exceptional at. But for now, it seems like Zeus is doing absolutely fine.
Yeah, even stuff here. And this is the thing as well. If EG are able to keep the kind of lane trades even, they're always going to have that real strength that they have got that jungler. If they come out the laning stage at the same level, bam, there's effectively just an extra hero on top of what LGD's going to have in terms of farm.
Yeah, and that jungler is one of the most game-turning, you know, when it comes to late game team fight. Speaking of which, how many ways do you actually have for canceling that black hole? You got the Ravage, you got Casket,
you got the Adaptive Strike.
Yeah, and all of which will get.
So you've got a fair few.
Just all of which will get blanked by a BKB. So I imagine that's going to be one of the items that Fear will look toward to. He's probably going to start with his mech. He'll get his blink probably, but BKB is a hot item for him this game.
And we can see at the moment still on the top lane, Tide getting the same amount of farm as the Jug, so this is also going to be very good for RTK. Well, I guess we'll expect him to go for the same mech into Blink Dagger build. I mean, do you see any reason why this game he'd skip the mech and go straight for the Blink?
No, I think he's looking to get the mech first. It gives them the mid-game fights that they need to have, especially against Zeus, right? Under God's Wrath, you want to have a mech to refresh your team right after that, make them fight worthy. I do want to keep my eyes on the mid lane, because I imagine once maybe turns level 6, we're going to start at least traps laid out, and you know, that's where Sumail, if he's not careful enough, he will give away that kill.
But at the same time, I guess if you look at kind of the side of EG, they do have that Enigma, so at that point Fear might be a bit more liable to kind of hang a little bit closer to the mid lane, just in case TA decides to go, and he can try and get himself in there to look for a bit of counter action.
And Enigma is one of the scariest jungler to deal against if you're TA, because your refraction charges can melt very quickly against, you know, 3 to 6 Eidolons.
For the Eidolons, yeah, absolutely. Suddenly you're going to be very, very vulnerable. And Fear's farm at the moment, as expected, going at the pace that any jungler at this point would hope to. And you've actually got a rotation for the Night Stalker coming around, standing into the jungle between the two towers. Sumail's actually going to back himself off, pick up that soaring, so be able to give up the spammer lane. 21 for 128 for 6. So interesting enough, as you said, TA did get to that level point where it looks like the refraction really helping her to come out on top in terms of CS.
Yeah, and now Sumail is extremely scared. You know, he saw the Night Stalker coming. In fact, he's got a ward. And also, when you see a Night Stalker disappearing from the top lane, you know, he has nowhere else to go apart from ganking mid. Although he might not expect MMY coming in, the trap will give vision. In fact, Night Stalker
Universe is there. They could try and hold this one off. They'll put down the Spirit, looking cloudy. The 3-man sleep here will be enough to save Sumail by the looks of it. And now looking for the turn. That magic missile
from downtown.
From another totally different town.
We need to get some clap for that, because I imagine we're going to see a lot of that throughout the game. If you look at the way that LGD likes to play with this lineup, is to dive with refraction charges, with Night Stalker, a well-placed Echo Stomp.
Yeah, really good stuff from Universe there, turning that around.
It's actually surprisingly difficult to avoid that AoE. It's huge. It's absolutely huge.
And it's something that arguably a lot of teams aren't going to be used to playing against. Not everyone's going to be playing against an Elder Sign every day.
Yeah. You know, a lot of us, Pano included, when we saw the Elder Titan pick, we were thinking him to be played as the Aura one, where you max the Aura, you deal a ton of damage, and probably that's going to be the case later on in the mid to late game, where it's really good against the Morphling, but for now, he's actually leveling up his stun, where, you know, showed off the presence there. Looks like he's going to go for a 1-2-1 build right now.
And I guess the thing is, late game as well, you talk about that Aura, reducing magic, and this is a team that has a Zeus as well.
Yeah.
So you, bam, take away that, and essentially this Zeus shooting out what's effectively pure damage. You're just going to melt through the opponents.
Yeah, and let's not forget that in late game, Morphling is all base armor, because he has so much agility.
Yeah, against the Morphling, the pick is genius. There we go on to Sumail. They'll get the trap slow. DDC as well. One more will do it, and that's your first blood. There'll be a magic missile to maybe looking for the sleep. They will get it. Out goes the Spirit as well. Universe does get the turnaround. And not before LGD get themselves that first blood for the TA. So 1-for-1 in the mid lane. I think LGD will be a little bit happy, of course, getting that first kill.
I'm no TA expert. We need Waga for that, but unfortunately he did not have Maelstrike. That would have made the kill much speedier. But obviously, the reason that he got more refraction as well as side blaze too for laning presence and last hitting against the Zeus.
It did look like the TA didn't get to spend any gold though before she did die after getting the first blood. So in terms of gold, obviously
you're still happy to get the first blood.
Yeah,
not only that, you forced a TP, another TP from Universe going to the mid lane. So his economy is
smoke and go. We've got that black hole ready and waiting. PPD and Fear. What are they going to look for? They know that RTK is fairly aggressive here with his farm.
Yeah, so, you know, you get the Kraken Shell, you think that you're pretty immortal, you can't Kraken your way out of a black, you cannot against a black hole.
Yeah, here we go, there's your black hole, straight up onto the Tide Hunter, he's become the hunted. And EG there with the pick-off. RTZ getting the kill as well, so a bit more gold onto their position 1.
Also, very nicely spotted, Dr. House finds a ward behind the tower. And that will protect him, very much so.
We are seeing at this point that maybe is really breaking away in this mid lane. We're talking a gold efficiency at 1k for Sumail on the Zeus.
Yeah, we're starting why the TA pick is much better than the Shadow Fiend that myself as well as the panel thought of. As a Shadow Fiend, you don't get this explosive early game killing power against the Zeus. Sure, you'll trade farm and you climb ahead probably net worth, but if you're looking to shut down Sumail, and that's one of the players that the panel touched on, they need to shut down. They're doing just that.
Oh, Universe. I'll be in trouble. The trap slows there. DDC as well with a follow-up void in there. Another trap drop down. They'll move forward. They'll get some melt here in, and they'll put a Ravage for this one. They just want the kill, and they'll get it. Oh, Sumail, he's actually been silenced with a crippling fear from DDC. He could be in trouble as well. The trap slows there. Is maybe going to dive. No, they're going to play it safe. RTZ is moving in and actually doesn't have the mana here for the Omni Slash. I imagine he might have stick charges. But on the jug, I only had one, so wouldn't have actually had the Omni Slash, but it was just the potential of the scare that caused LGD to play it safe, and rightfully so. They get themselves the kill, they get out, they do pop a Ravage, but at the same time, if Game 1 was anything to go by, the pace of this matchup is probably going to be quite slow, so not having the Ravage for this period, you're not the biggest of one.
You're fine. I think actually in the early game, you want to be using those one-man Ravage.
And you know that there's no black hole at the moment.
Yeah.
So you know that potentially EG themselves are going to look for big
same thing for Fear, right? He's going to be looking to use one-man black hole just to secure kills, so I think in the early game you do want to be using your big ultimates to grab those kills. Really, no advantage to just kind of holding it and just threatening to use it.
Yeah, and talking about maybe, we know from his playstyle, he is an absolute playmaker. We've seen, it was on a Shadow King game earlier this LAN, he went for the straight blink.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm hoping he's going to go for the straight blink for this TA, and I imagine he's saving up for that right now. Do you think we will see the blink first time TA come into this game?
You know, it's very good against Zeus, against Revenge, even against Enigma. You just blink up, let him know who's boss. I'm actually not too sure whether he'll go for it. Because the one thing I do want to point out in this game is that in normal games where there's a TA involved, you see the supports stacking the Ancients quite a bit. It felt like the priority for LG, and they do have the stacks going on. It feels like the priority in this game is to shut down Zeus more. So I feel like the economy game is secondary in terms of importance. They just want to make sure that Sumail isn't zapping them with a 12-minute 8th lens or something like that. So, and I feel like they have accomplished not only starting in Zeus, but also keeping up in terms of the economy for maybe. So I think he's having a good game. And if you look at his current gold, he's racking it up. Yes, saving up to that blink dagger. I want to see a blink dagger.
I want to see a blink. I mean, obviously there's the potential for it to be kind of the Mithra to the Deso.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's maybe. He loves his blink dagger on these kind of initiating mids. So we may see him do that. PPD here with an Invis rune. He's going to head towards the top. Pings are coming out onto the Night Stalker. They can get Artur around the corner to come in with his Omni Slash. And if they can catch DDC away from the crease, they could try for it. But there is backup here on LGD. I think LGD realize something might happen, and in fact they'll jump in. But LGD just can't react quick enough. Instantly, the Omni Slash destroying the Night Stalker now, and he'll go for the TPL. One more hit, and the man might have been dead.
Yeah.
Very, very close call, and EG get away with it.
So on the bottom lane, still rising away. That's the one player we haven't really touched on too much. There's so much action elsewhere on the map. We cannot forget that he is the Morphling player, and he is getting free farm, right?
84 CS at 11 minutes.
He's only eclipsed by your own mid player in terms of net worth, but that's a first world problem in my book, you know?
Yeah.
And that is Blink.
Yeah,
right.
The Blink TA as we expected this game from maybe. But yeah, I mean, we forgot about Sylar. EG, I mean, they their benefit, I hope they haven't. We've seen what Sylar does when he gets forgotten about. He becomes this incredible, unstoppable late game force. So EG, I'm sure they have a plan, but they're certainly going to need one against this Morphling, because we've seen many teams just let Sylar get out of control in the laning stage, and he'll know exactly what to do with that farm. He'll get his Lincolns, probably then build straight into the E-Blade, and then he'll just start straight up joining the fights, and EG will kind of wonder, hang on, why did we let that Morphling get to where he is now?
Yeah. There used to be an old trend about Chinese Dota where, like, if you want to win a game, just pick anti-mage. And I feel like for LGD Sylar, it's like, hey, if you want to win a game, just pick Morphling. And we'll see. Again, let's not forget that EG has a ton of counters towards the late game.
They really do.
They got the Universe, the Astral Aura, they got the percentage damage, so it's not all a walk in a park for the Morphling, but he's definitely got the farm and the momentum to really make it a game for him. Mid lane PPD, I actually just got pincered in by the Night Stalker.
Especially since the NS he's got the Tranquil, so he can really close in onto PPD.
When a TA just throws a trap in your face like that, you're like, okay, well, yeah, I was just looking at the tower.
Something's up, someone's looking for me. Yeah, PPD playing it safe.
So, you know, if you look at the way that these two games has been progressing, last game it was really EG that's calling the shots. And sure, you do see EG making a couple of ganks here and there, but overall I feel like LGD, that's, oh, okay, hold that thought, they're making a big move. As I was saying, I feel like it's LGD that's really getting all the ganks going their way, even though it's EG leading a kill. And this would be big for EG now, because they do need a little spike in their economy to make that come.
Was that a smoker from LGD? We see them grouped up around their Ancients. No, they were just moving around as a group.
I think they're farming.
They get over there quick enough. Oh no, they're going to smoke and go.
Too late, I think.
It's not the quickest of Roshans.
Yeah. You're also fighting into
Black Hole. I think that they are going to get there.
Trap, they were dropping too low. I don't think they can get it in there in time.
Oh, he doesn't get it. Oh no, he killed it. Maybe gets the kill onto Roshan, but Juggernaut, RTZ will pick up the Aegis. There's your Ravage, the car's gone to Artur. Gets swapped back to the pit. Fear with a two-man black hole, holding them in place. Now the death forward, they're pummeling the EG. EG have got to get themselves out. The only cells on 10 man wide. It'll be a 2-for-2 at the moment. EG trying to move forward from more, looking for RTK. DDC and Sylar coming back in. There's the silence onto RTZ. Sylar's there as well on the Morphling, looking for the jug kill. Will find it, but RTZ, the Aegis Snatcher, will be back, and they do manage to finish off DDC trying to run away off the back of that. So overall, EG coming out on top in terms of the trade, only because of that and the fact that they did get that Aegis on RTZ's Juggernaut, but a good attempt from LGD and a very flashy Roshan still, and maybe would have been, literally, maybe, would have been a different situation if he'd got the Aegis as well. RTZ, he was spamming that. He was like, nope, this is my Aegis. Click, click,
Everybody
click,
was spamming that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually hard to argue whether who came out ahead. Sure, EG, it's a 3-3 trade at the end of the day, but they got the last hit, right?
For the Roshan, right, RTZ.
Okay,
There's a swap onto maybe, needs some help. RTK trying to come in, and there's the more TPs from LGD. They're trying to save this man, but he's looking to die. Blade Fear is already there. They'll take down the TA. RTZ caught behind enemy lines out. Crippling Fear here. He's trapped between them all, but Universe, look at the storm, won't catch anyone, but it does force LGD back. He has got a Maledict on him. RTZ should pop a PPD meanwhile. Finds a double kill as he finishes. The Blade Fury, he dodges the last tick of Maledict. He's going to keep himself alive. RTZ there with the Blade Fury. Sumail chasing down for more. They found 3. Can they find themselves a 4th? DDC just a little bit too speedy. He has got the Thunder God's Wrath, but he hasn't got the mana to do so.
He's gonna teleport back to base for mana? Is that what he's doing?
I swear it wouldn't be enough damage.
I don't think so. He might still try for it, you know, you give him the... Okay, never mind.
He's a smart man. He's a smart boy.
Sometimes he's just Zeus O for like the signal, you know? He's like, hey, take it. Not him though. He's
and that was a painful fight for LGD. Coming off the back of a fight that wasn't great, but it wasn't awful, and then suddenly just throwing away 3 heroes, you lose your tier 1, and with the pushing power of EG, they're going to look to do some damage here to the tier 2.
The worst part about that fight is like they lost us the TA 2 fights in a row.
Or maybe does he want to try and go for the players? He's got this blink.
No, they're
relatively exposed now. He just CP's out.
Yeah. Losing your TA 2 fights in a row, especially when he's gotten the blink dagger. Normally when you go blink, you expect to, you know, get a lot of things done. And you keep up economy, but it's not the greatest, and we will see TA start to fall off. And also, more importantly, RTZ not dying there. I think they would be okay if they got RTZ. But
the fact that I think that Blade Fury literally just came off cooldown as that last tick was about to hit.
RTZ going for the Battle Fury build, looking to take this game late, recognizing the fact that, hey guys, these LGD lads are very, very farmed.
The thing is that it's still going to be pretty hard to kill Sylar, and he is a morphling man.
He's got his Lincolns as well, so
yeah,
he will get harder to kill. With that said though, I think Lincolns this game, if you want to pop it, you got the Arc Lightning, especially with Aether Lens down the road, it will be an easy pop. It's more like, you know, that will give him the time
reaction time.
Yeah, the replicate out or just strength morph or whatever. I think our observer did point out that Venge had like 2k gold.
PPD did.
Yeah, I mean, he's a rich man now. He's gonna go for it.
PPD, is that really you? It feels like a different man.
You know it's him because if it's another support, that's a Hannah Midas or
that's true.
And he's thinking about the team. He's thinking about his boys. He goes last. And that would be great for Juggernaut, you know?
Yeah, it really will. Then let's see what the next point of plan is. LGD, at the moment, they're keeping very safe just around their own Ancients, not wishing to separate. Put the Thunder God's Wrath, see what's going on now, as LGD just cleaning up this smart Ancient step that they've got going on here. Hood now on top of the mech here for Fear.
Yep, so one thing that we do have to watch out for as we approach the late game is that the shotgun on Morphling will be coming online. So that's why that the Morphling, or sorry, the Enigma is starting to protect himself with the Hood. And also, you know, Hood's just a good item overall. And of course, the Juggernaut is going to be able to protect himself through Blade Flurry. One thing that we do want to look out for is perhaps a Glimmer Cape pickup on one of the EG supports. You know, you see the Morphling there, you pop a Glimmer on yourself or on your ally, then suddenly the Morphling killing power is a lot less effective.
Oh, Fear. Should be fine, yeah. The trap slow did come in. LGD not wanting to get to go, and the Deso now on this TA. So if maybe does get right up in the face of some of these heroes, he will be able to 3 or 4 shot them at this point. And wow, they've caught out DDC and moving in with the speed, the burst from Sumail as well. DDC gets left behind by the team, and EG will be there to clean him up.
Can we quickly check the skill build of our Elder Titan, because we don't see that hero often. It looks like he's actually maxing the clap, and the fact that, you know, he's been in these early team fights, it's quite effective, right?
Yeah, this is the maximum input really at this point.
Universe also going for a Hood, so I guess he's going for the Aether Lens? Or is it going to be a Glimmer?
Yeah, Glimmer on the ET.
Because the thing about Glimmer on ET is that he's going to get very mana starved, because Glimmer Cape does cost quite a bit, so I don't know. I don't know which, because his range is also very high, so I'm not sure whether he needs the Aether Lens. We'll see, Universe knows better, I guess. The one thing I'm very surprised about is the lack of traps into the Roshan pit by our TA player. I mean, the reason that the Roshan sneak was even possible was due to, you know, the lack of traps. I can't tell if Sumail's been just walking there constantly, just clearing up traps if you know, there were traps there, but so far I haven't really seen the TA traps being littered around the map as it should be.
Yeah, at the moment they've got a few on over there, so they're just looking to maintain control. You can see the traps around the top rune, and
again, to be fair, it's really hard to keep it up against Zeus. He was walking around Bolt and free 1 gold.
10-4 at the moment. EG, the one's ahead in terms of kills, but you see that net worth, and it is LGD who are the better farmers at this point.
Yeah, and unlike last game, LGD is more than comfortable to just sit back and just wait for EG to come at them with the aggression.
Yeah.
This is how LGD want to play Dota.
The one thing that might change this kind of positioning on the net worth leaderboard will be the fact that obviously RT's now with the Battle Fury.
Yeah.
He can certainly step it up.
Definitely can.
We could see him catch up with some of these cores on the side of LGD, maybe in Sylar, the ones rocking the top. And kind of Suzuki, I mean, this TA, she's got the blink, she's got the Deso.
Sylar might actually just die here. He does have the Lincolns, but he has no way form for 4. And okay, I was gonna say he doesn't have a refraction. Replica.
Yeah, he gets the replica on his way back, but they know they're gonna actually take that down. I think they realize he's on his own now. The question is, can they actually catch the real Sylar?
He'll just wave into trees and TP. He has Lincolns, so he's good.
I guess himself. Sure, but yeah, TA, what do you think maybe he's going to go for next? Well, in the short term, he's going for a kill, yeah, straight onto Fear, bam!
Where do you go?
Disappeared. Maybe now, so 2.2k gold. Does he need a BKB or can he afford to just go for something like a Chrysalis and continue to just build deeps?
I think you want to go for a BKB. A ton of magic damage this game. The clap that we talked about from Universe, how is he expected to actually stick to anybody and keep right clicking if that AoE is so huge?
Yeah, that eminent threat's always there for
so that's probably the safest item that he will go for. You know, if he wants to go for something aggressive, the Chrysalis like you suggested, even like Manta or SNY for more movement speed is not bad, but it will surprise me greatly if it's not a BKB. Although with that said, he is actually saving up quite a bit of gold. I wonder what this is actually, because if you want to go for BKB, you could pick up your Ochre Club right now.
Another man that was saving up the gold was Sylar on his Morphling. I can imagine he is saving for the Eagle Song into the E-Blade. If we can,
sure,
we'll check out the Morph. Yeah, so he's just picked up the Eagle Song. Okay, so he is very, very close to that E-Blade.
Yep. And that's where EG really needs to start sticking up, you know, as tier 3s. Can't just allow Morphling to split push and then, oh, but that's, you know, a free hero kill, I'll take it.
EG, ready to group up, look for the objectives. Bottom lane there, LGD will find it here, want to be a swap on try. CK, I'll pop the mech, that's not going to save him. He does manage to walk up the magic missile with the Kraken shell, but still goes down. The full 5-man force of EG, much too much for a single Thailander. The split push is strong. He's got Sylar going for the tier 2 top, forcing out the fortification, nearly gets it. And adaptive strike onto RTs. You've got to be a little bit careful. Will waltz it off, and that's going to be Sylar just buying space to get the tower. At the same time, bottom lane, they're looking to lose another tier 2 here. As you really can't underestimate the split push capabilities of the TA Blink and the Morphling with the escape mechanisms that he's got as well.
Yeah, maybe just gets himself back home. Well, actually, this could be dangerous. He's out there.
Now
he just get Omni Slash, and if 1 or 2 crits happen, you know, he can just get popped. And never mind, he has Lincolns. He's not afraid of the Omni Slash.
No, he's not. In a 1v1, it's always going to be pretty much impossible for Jug to take him unless he makes a big mess up. The Morphling. And in terms of line pickups of BKB, was the item now done for TA. E-Play has been completed by Sylar, and in the end, Universe on his Elder Titan, he did decide to go for the Aether Lens.
Alright. I mean, he's got normally a ton of range on the hero already, so I'm very curious in terms of the logic behind this item. Obviously, the other part about Aetherlens is that it just gives you a ton of great stats, right? The mana is very welcome. The magic resistance, as I mentioned, is very good against the Morphling as well. So,
and I mean, as well as you said, the fact that this is a hero that maybe can have some mana issues, and he did opt to build treads rather than arcanes, so we didn't have that kind of boosted up mana pool. So this gives him a bit more to play with that Aetherlens. And I guess also nice just to be able to throw the Spirit out a little bit further. So when you're looking to combo, you don't have to throw it, then walk it out, and then stomp. You can pretty much throw and channel the stomp straight away. And well, smoke from LGD in return. Let's see if they can find it. RTK on the front. Who gets what here? Oh, Joffrey gets the jump! From Rabbit onto 5! The front is up for the E-Blade onto Samel. LGD maybe pulling the BKB. He's going to be the only one caught here in this black hole. But Deathforce being laid down to the high ground. RTZ going in with the Ollie Slash. Will find one kill. Going up to the high ground as well. Artor, Blade Fury again, and one of the Thunderbolts well. They'll find themselves the third. EG, 3 for 1 there. Can they get the sleep on Starladder? They can. I don't know if can they actually get this kill.
yeah, you gotta be careful as well. The
okay,
E-Blades.
They get the Malefice down.
He's trying to wait for him to the left side. E-Blade going.
He is going full strength this side, and he's got a lot of stats to play with, so we'll be able to wait for him up to the high ground, and he's out. Universe there hoping to find the start. We saw that how far he could just chuck out the Spirit with the Aetherlens. An absolute country mile, but 3 for 1. EG find the good trade. A little bit unfortunate for LGD because it was a 5-man Ravage.
Yeah, that fight started with the 5-man Ravage. I wonder if the silence from the Night Stalker was not casted onto the Juggernaut. And I feel like he should have been the priority, right? Like, you throw the silence on RTZ, you kill him very quickly, because what happened instead was RTZ just let his ultimate go, and suddenly everybody died.
Yeah, and the fact that the first person to die was maybe on the TA, and at this point, again, that's the person you're looking to rely on for the physical damage.
Yeah. So now Roshan is happening. RTK is thinking about jumping back in, but just can't. Uh-oh, RTK?
RTK. Well, looks like they're not going to bite today, EG.
Yeah.
They'll leave him off. Oh, for another E-Blade onto Samel, moving forward. Bam! Samel! Taking it to the face there with a double barrel from Morphling.
Might not be over yet. PPD looking.
Oh, there's the coconuts. PPD is not a fan. They're in onto the Avenge, and that's a double kill for Sylar. And we've been saying it. This is the man that you've got to be scared of. You've got to be scared of this Morphling. He's 3-0-2, hasn't died yet this game. This is checking out to be a game that Sylar could win pretty much purely with this Morphling pick and performance.
Alright, let's give some credit to the rest of the LGD boys.
I mean, we've got it, but it's the Sylar Morphling. As you said, it's kind of that pick that...
You want to win the game?
You pick the Sylar Morphling.
There you go. RTZ, you know, quietly has been picking up a ton of farm as well. 4-0 Nate, looking pretty good.
There's Crystallis now, maybe. Both of the cores of LGD now really going to be able to pack a punch. You've got the nuke potential from the Morphling. You've just got the physical damage output from Maybe. It is looking scary for EG, but we have seen that they can very much still win these fights. If RTZ gets the opening for the huge Omni Slasher onto one of those cores, then EG can take the swing.
As it goes more and more into the late game, the Morphling factor is there, but let's not forget about the Night Stalker, because he is halfway towards his Aghanims. I'm sure Pimlico later on will be switching and toggling to...
He's only 800 gold away.
Yeah. He'll be, you know, we're going to see LGD having control of the map, and you see that LGD wants to... the Venge wants to start the fight by swapping one in. Well, he's going to have a much tougher time finding that swap.
Oh, RTZ being trapped, slowed up here. He does have backup. EG and their full force are coming down this top lane, and well, Sana's going to go in, replicate straight out.
Yeah.
Universe won't be able to catch him in time there with the sleep, and again, just trying out these nukes onto RTZ. Just look at the damage that this Morphling does.
Well, look at the Zeus too. He's like, hey man, I heard too. Yeah, they're giving DD some more.
But it just seems like a very smart picks. We saw actually just their Morphling, of course, when he morphs to kind of full agi, the Witch Doctor heals him in no time at all. And then when he transfers it back into strength, the percentage of health that you've effectively just gained over that short amount of time is huge for Sylar. So that works really nicely. Also the Night Stalker, really smart against the Zeus, because you know that the Zeus is going to take control of the map in terms of warding. But if you get the Ags up on the Night Stalker, then the fact that you're lacking that vision doesn't really matter, because you're punishing the vision of the enemy, and you're essentially this portable ward that you know, good luck dewarding a Night Stalker, Zeus.
It goes both ways. Like EG will get limited by the division of the Night Stalker Axe, but they also have Zeus. They have Vengeful Spirit as well as the Astral of the scouting from the.
So they've got the scouting.
You could even use your Eidolon to go left, right, center. So I feel like both teams will have some laking vision to play with. Let's not forget about the LGD traps that you could throw out. And
yeah, that's true actually. Yeah,
both teams are playing.
I think they definitely thought about the vision game here. I think both teams did. Yeah, maybe with that final pick TA, you know, as you said, LGD have that kind of bonus where it can still be dewarded, but at really a minimal loss for the side of LGD.
So the way that Fear's been itemizing for himself, he's definitely not itemizing for the black hole. He's looking to buff his team much more. Now we got the trifecta of Greaves, Pipe, plus of Vlads over the Venge, so the team is as tanky as it comes, right? We talked about how good the BKB would be for Enigma, but he's not looking to hit a perfect black hole. He's looking to provide tankiness to his team. The shortest live ward ever.
Rest in peace. Yeah. Rest in peace, Wardy. Well, I think as well, just looking at the morphing, he's starting to stockpile the gold. So I think normally Sylar goes for the butterfly next. I want to say after the E-blade in his build.
I think a Scotty would be good this game. Just tank up.
And he just only get the. I can't remember if he gets the butterfly or the Scotty first.
Butterfly would be exceptional against Omnix actually.
MKBs on the side of EG, unlikely to happen. Maybe Artur eventually.
RXTK again being ganked up.
Oh, this man. No chance for him here.
It's
Pops the
him
mech.
out.
The charges. You're going to keep him alive.
He looks so squishy again thanks to other Titan.
Exactly, the Spirit just chasing him down, keeping that constant essence or a debuff on him.
So normally you would push after you pick off. He's done. Right there, out of there.
Okay, Fear nearly getting blown up there by Sylar.
He would totally die without that pipe. So good on him, but they're not out of the woods just yet.
PPD's in the woods. That could be an issue for him.
All right, PPD's the one that's running. He's like, okay, that's a morphling I'm running into. I'm out. So back to the item choices. BKB. So I was making the point that if you go evasion, that's good against RTZ, but there's so much magic damage in the game. If you go Scotty, you're getting more stats, but that's Zeus says alright, and so does Elder Titan. So he's gonna just go get magic immunity and essentially wave into the fight and just start going into the Zeus, the Venge, the Elder Titan's face.
So yeah, as I was saying, with the diffusal jug, I guess with the Manta as well, it's kind of nice against the Morphling in the sense that you can jump in if Morphling wave forms in. Most of the time he's going to have that replica to get to, but if you can get the stuns through and burn through his mana pool, suddenly Sylar's effectively a lot less tankier because he's going to be able to shift a little less into strength.
Yes. Also, you have the added benefit of purging a silence off of yourself from the Night Stalker. He already has the Manta style for that, but sometimes, especially with RTZ, he likes to use Manta style just for farming, scouting, things of that nature. So just having a second benefit of dispelling is great.
Full update list now for TA. Maybe is definitely going to be able to, not necessarily one shot potentially, but two shot some of these squishier heroes on the side of EG.
That's true. Yeah. Although it seems like we're saying it like, oh, maybe he's going to do so much teamfight damage, and then at the start of teamfight he just gets blown up every fight.
Yeah, if EG can take out the TA straight away, that's a huge worry off their back.
Yeah. How do you deal with this Morphling though?
I think that we've seen them try and deal with his kind of split push attempts, but every time Sylar's been able to escape.
Yep. The good thing for EG is that they're the one that's controlling the map, although maybe for not much longer, because here comes Night Stalker, and they see absolutely nothing.
DDC with the wraparound, but EG, the full 5-man are there. Now moving RTZ, looking to finish off the tier 2. Still, top lane Sylar working the way around with the Morphling. So they'll just let the tier 2 go. You got RTK working on the pressure on the bottom. RTZ coming around, maybe seeing if he could catch out DDC, but of course with the superior vision advantage here, DDC is going to be able to keep himself in the shadows and just stalk Artur. As our top links away keeps.
It is very difficult to kill RTZ. He's got Manta, he's got
Blink
spin. He's got Blink, Diffusal. Oh, they're gonna cancel that TP. That's great.
That's a bold TP from Artur when he knows that DDC has got that Ags. Look at the blink off. ROTK has got a Ravage. If they want to commit for this kill, they can certainly try for it, and they will. They know that Artur's alone. He's already used a fair bit of his escape mechanisms, and he could be in a lot of trouble. Will defuse off the crippling fear.
That's a Ravage blown.
Backup is coming in from the side of EG. Okay. And the Pike
no spin.
taking a lot of the damage here. Now they'll try and turn. Get the Malefice off onto DDC. Throw back the caster on the Witch Doctor side. Popping the BKB. Oh no! The damage from maybe there on the TA does manage to get themselves the kill onto the Jug. In comes Sylar, wave form moving forward. Getting the punches out, the slow onto the metal, throw down the Thunder Goes Ralph, trying to turn to get the TA trap onto 2. The bounces will go between the 2 heroes. Oh, baby! Just ripping through the 2s, jumping for the BKB. He's gonna get the clean up here by the looks of it. There's buybacks already on 2. But Fear, he's gonna go down as well. Double kill for maybe. The TA did so much, and here's your Omni. Here's your Omni. The buybacks, they're coming out from all of the side of EG. They've got a fair bit of money to play with after their previous tournament victories, Summit, and now Arteezy. He's looking to use it to capitalize on the kills he'll get them. They will get a double kill. So with the buybacks, they do force back LGD. He's got a blink.
Alright.
So is Maybe, and Maybe is out. Alright, so let's have a look at the fire recap there, because we're interested to see how the goal did swing, and it does still swing to LGD, because we saw triple buyback come out from EG there to get the 3 kills. But a very, very costly exchange there for the side of Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, unfortunately for EG, they don't really get big objective out of it, right? Roshan is, I don't think it's back yet.
It is back, so
okay, if they
get
this,
though.
I want to say it's sort of worth it because they also got rid of the gem from the Night Stalker.
They did get it, but I mean we saw it, just the fact, those buybacks were not cheap.
Yeah, they were
not cheap, so this is really going to put kind of a bit of a slowdown on
scouting
EG.
Roche or anything. They're not going in for it. And there's a pesky Morph Illusion just camping the Roshan pit. Alright. I feel like EG need to get more out of that buyback, apart from just the 3 kill and the gem. And yeah, we do see a fight where if Maybe gets to do what he wants to do, you are losing the fight.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. In terms of disabling him through the BKB, you really are relying on the black hole or just killing him straight up with the physical damage from Arteezy on the Juggernaut. And if you don't, yeah, he'll jump in, 1 shot, 2 shot your heroes.
Yeah.
And it's very scary. And you've got to remember, that was a fight as well that they didn't even have the Ravage out. Imagine if RTK still had the Ravage then. That would have been bam. I think you're getting some diebacks as well on EG.
To be fair, the fight also started with RCZ not using his ultimate. That could have you know, changed the outcome of the fight, especially let's say if Witch Doctor just died to the Omni Slash. So it's somewhat hard to say.
Or maybe with a DD. Easiest Roche of his life here.
Yeah. How much is he critting for?
1k by the looks of it.
That's rather low crit for a double damage, but Shiva's coming out.
And Sylar, he's got a cheese as well. I mean, still this Morphling. I would not be surprised if we see this game finishing and Sylar just doesn't die at all. Regardless of whichever way the game goes, it's just he plays this hero so much to a T. He knows exactly his limits as a Morphling.
Yeah, I don't think he actually even came close to dying. Maybe he was chased like by 4 or 5 early, but he just, you know, he's a Morphling. He waved out. So TIE Hunter has the Shiva's Guard. Apart from being a great TIE Hunter item in general, this game more important against the aura of Elder Titan, just giving you raw some plus armor. And unfortunately, ROTK is always on the receiving end of a 4-man smoke gank. So just tanking up is always good.
Arteezy. What does he build for next here? Is he himself going for the Skadi on this?
It seems like so.
Diffusal Skadi.
You know, he's been getting defensive item, but I think getting let's say a Lincoln Sphere on top of this is maybe an overkill.
Yeah.
You need to actually punch a bit, and Skadi does help. So, if you tell me in terms of how well this universe Elder Titan has been working out, and obviously the collapse has been good early on, the aura has been setting up skills.
Pretty huge. Yeah.
The ultimate obviously combines very well with the black hole if you catch more, but
that's the thing. I mean, we haven't really seen that kind of follow-up wham bam.
Right.
But
so,
if they do get it, it is gonna hurt LGD.
I mean, if you would just sit here and with this crabs being showing up, thank you, production.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, that's good. Okay. I was gonna ask if you would rate this universe Elder Titan. You know, are we gonna see it in Game 3? You think, just from this performance so far?
I think it's always interesting to see something a bit different come out, but I don't know. It's hard to say at the moment. There could still very much be that one play that goes bam.
Right.
That's why you have the Elder Titan here.
Okay.
I mean, but there's no doubt we have seen his stomp save some of the heroes early on. You know, in the laning stage, we saw him kind of just stop LGD from making the proceeding. But as soon as these BKBs have come out on the cores, then it's much harder for Elder Titan to really get his job done.
Yeah. I mean, EG is still leading in terms of kills, although, you know, looking at the games going right now, it doesn't feel like that's the case. If you want to switch to Dire Vision, they see nothing. Like, the map's dark, they're scared. If you overstep a moment, that's where you get shotgunned by, you know, Sylar. Oh, RTZ. He gets out, but...
Meanwhile, Sylar casually taking a tier 3 top.
Yeah.
Thank you, EG.
They just see nothing. It's so hard to prepare for this kind of engagement. And LGD can play like this until the Aegis runs out, which I imagine they would try to look for a fight before the Aegis does run out. But they're definitely playing very, very safe.
Yeah. I mean, this is one thing with the Spirit Spam and the Stomp. You can kind of hold the lane very, very safely from a distance.
Yeah, when Elder Titan was a popular hero on pubs, I just remember how annoying it was to push high ground.
But back in the day, it used to be the maxed out Spirit would instantly wipe away, wouldn't it? Almost.
Yeah. And that's not counting into Aether Lens and the
Aether Lens.
That's even more annoying on top of that. Although I'm still not sold that Aether Lens was the item this game.
Oh, we might see your opinion change if they could go on this. They can't.
EG is just hoping and praying that they could hold out till the Aegis runs out, and they've actually done quite a good job in doing so.
Yeah, it's certainly proven to be difficult for LGD to try and get themselves up. The one thing that did work for them was the whole kind of just morphling, pressuring a different lane, drawing the attention of EG down one, and maybe kind of the difficulty for the side of the Dire comes to holding two lanes at the same time. That's where
Are they happening there? Setting the range racks. Alright, fun little fact, there is a double damage rune on the bottom half of the river, and the Radiant team does see it, so I don't know if they want to make that trek, but I think the Aegis is about to run out, and maybe it's time to back off for LGD. Farm a little bit, get the next wave of items.
RTZ.
That was 2 side blades, he's down to half.
He does need to be careful. At the same time, with LGD's draft, do you feel that there's any pressure really to finish up the game? I mean, they've got a TN and a Morphling against, I guess the scariest late game, probably really the Juggernaut. I mean, they're almost certainly quite comfortable taking this as long as they will need to, aren't they, LGD?
I would think that they could take it for maybe 20 to even maybe 30 more minutes, because if you look at Tidehunter, he's a fearsome late game hero. You could get a Refresh Orb, and suddenly that's double Ravage. Morphling, to me, has a lot more room to grow still. Like, you get a couple more items. TA is fairly maxing out, right? Like, TA has maybe 1 slot left. But, you know, Night Stalker could get up there, and same thing with the Witch Doctor. So, I think the Radiant side is...
yeah, Witch Doctor. They're jumping it on Starladder here.
Okay. He's got Replicate.
He's fine. Yep, he's out. This is now big one now. With the defuse away from it a second. He pops the BKB here. Oh, man. The reaction time's hitting him with his age. A little bit slow there for the man, unfortunately, and now it could be EG in trouble. RTK moving in with the gun. RTK and burst it down. That aura there from Elder Titan ripping him to shreds there as the damage comes through for EG. Sylar taking an Omni Sense to the face. Post the Manta in there with the split, bursting him down low. They have found themselves 2 kills. EG continue to clean up. Sylar getting bursted as well, and hang on, EG! It was all a ruse there, the black hole. They didn't even need to hit it.
False sense of security setting up here against LGD. They're chasing for more, and we're understanding why of the Diffusal Blade by it's to pop the Linkens anytime he wants. In fact, get TP out here from the Witch Doctor, but they don't care. They're going in. In fact, are they going for the throne? They're where did you go? I want the Witch Doctor. I was like, that's a little ballsy to go for the throne right there, but... Alright. Tier 3's being chopped down.
Suddenly, just like that, EG. And for me, that was the universe fight. That was the universe. He got his spirit in. The aura just absolutely made LGD crumble like paper to the damage of EG. And then the split as well. It bursted Morphling down. Bam! Just like that.
Yeah, Silo came back in with the cheese, right? I think he had a cheese in his inventory during the fight. It's like, okay, I'm 4 HP. I'm Morphling. You know, let me come back in. Also,
that's why you picked the Elder Titan, I think.
That's not just the aura. That also the ultimate also hit on the Elder Titan. That also does percentage of damage. So,
LGD gotta be careful. And here's what we're talking about. Sonny RTZ, top of the net worth. He's, after that fight, bounced straight up on top of the Scotty. He literally picked up the Scotty before that fight. Now he's got 4.1k gold on top. I mean, where does he go for now? Let's have a look at his inventory again. He's maxed out, right? Has he still got room? I guess you trades to bots. And then, I mean, do you just, I guess, get rid of the Diffusal, or you get rid of Battle Fury and get something else? Or do you feel you need to keep hold of the Battle Fury in these fights?
I think since you haven't lost you haven't lost a lane of Rax, in theory you could give up the Battle Fury because you might not need a cleave, but it's also giving him what, plus 60 damage.
It isn't.
That's not bad. You can also keep pushing out fast, and you can make the argument that you give up the Diffusal Blade, but it's done. I mean, he's out of charges, so maybe that's the reason you give it up. Because a Basher would be very good and into Abyssal Blade. It makes more and more sense about the Diffusal Blade. Like, you could, in theory, if you find the Morphling by himself, you break the Lincolns with the Diffusal charge and then you just go ham. I don't know. Maybe this is where you start to get, into the 6-7 slot territory. You just have a BKB in your courier, a Refresh Orb in your courier. RTZ is quite familiar though with this kind of late game item purchases, so we'll see.
And what's that fight? He got a Scythe on the Elder. Universe going to be even more impactful in the next fight. And look at that swing. Look at that swing. LGD, they had 10k built up and bam, just like that, gone.
Yeah. Again though, late game is all about vision, and again, we've been mentioning that both teams has quite a bit of
ups and downs. Both teams.
To be fair, I do want to be on the side of the Night Stalker. Not only are you getting vision, you are limiting vision as well.
Oh, that's easy.
See, if it's not Night Stalker vision, they would see.
He's got the Diffusal onto RTK though.
They don't see anything.
Forwards.
They're just so blind. Alright,
RTK blinks in. There's on the RTK. Won't be able to tank that. Again, the Spirit are helping out, knocking back some of that base armor away from the Tide.
Does the man have buyback?
He does. And the buyback straight away. PPD actually swapping MOI in, but MOI gets himself out, and that's going to be PPD just sacrificed. Just like that, RTZ. Blade throwing EG, what's the plan? They want to try and fight. They do have a black hole, but now Universe is out. They're TPing out as well. Universe will escape Fear as well. RTZ has been left behind here. Artur's like, boys, where's the boy? He's gone. He's down for 110 seconds as well. He does have buyback on this Juggernaut. And he might be forced to use it here if LGD can get something going, and this is a bit of a painful time as well for the side of EG, because Roshan is going to be up in less than a minute, so LGD might be ready to take that.
Yeah, maybe we should just throw a trap into the pit, force it out, because EG doesn't know when Rosh is spawning, so they don't know if LGD is doing it right now. Again, surprised to see no traps in the Rosh. Never mind, because we might see just another fight breaking out. Again, no vision for Universe.
Oh, Universe jumps on 1, 2, and he does not have buyback. Fear, look at the black hole, but he already gets out on why LGD, they're just going to fight around it. RTK falling red, pops the bank. Wilson survive. Fear getting 2 shots there, buy maybe on the TA. PPD getting nuked down. This will be a dieback if he doesn't fall, but he does get the swap. Back up to the high ground, he keeps himself alive. But EG, 2 heroes down, neither with buyback available, but they did manage to knock out the Tide Hunter. And he himself is down for just as long. LGD, they will be able to use this time to go for Roshan. There's now Moonshards on maybe as well. This is going to be the Aegis to cheese. Bye-bye, Rosh. But the question is, do you think LGD try and go for something again as a 4-man without the Tide, or do you think they'll see it play safe?
I think you wait.
You wait.
It's just safer, much safer to wait. It's rare to see in this late game scenario for both big AoE ultimate to really whiff, right? The Ravage hit absolutely nobody, the Black Hole only hit 1.
Yeah, and you got the Witch Doctor.
And I don't think he even died during the Black Hole, so both teams just positioning extremely well. And is this... I don't think it's fine.
This is Abyssal Blade relic first, surely. I don't think this is rapier.
He's gonna go BOTs as well, selling his treads.
Unfortunately.
Oh no! Okay. All right. Sell treads to buy treads.
Sell treads to buy treads.
All right. I mean, gold doesn't really matter because he's already 6 slotted and he already used his buyback for the next 7 minutes. So sometimes you gotta just TP home, man.
And the rapier dream isn't alive here, but understandably
now.
the abyssal is the smarter choice here. We know that he can already do the damage, especially with the aura from the universe, ripping down the base armor.
All right. The armor items are coming out at 50 minutes in the game, and honestly, I think that's already quite late. Again, you want all plus armor against Outer Titan, so the Vlad's very helpful. ACs down the line would be great. Or AC already
got AC on maybe, yeah, maybe. TA picked it up.
But the hexes are also coming out.
Double X. We haven't got any Lotus Orbs being worked on or out at all on LGD either.
No.
So the hexes are going to be an issue. Obviously, just the Lincolns on Starladder to help him. The BKB on the 2 cores as well.
Ooh, also, Vengeful Spirit working towards Ags.
I mean, we were talking earlier about obviously the combo with the Enigma Black Hole. You know, swapping people in. If you've got a 10-second cooldown,
sure,
you can be able to easily do that every time the Black Hole's available.
Not only that, you know, Venges have been blown up immediately, right? But now you got a second Venge hanging out about with the eggs.
That's, yeah.
And that Venge, the Illusion Venge, could still swap, could still draw stuns and stuff. That's if he gets to finish the Ags, because here comes LGD.
LGD ready to jump. No jump in the Ravage. Onto the... Oh, the sideways! Double kill for maybe. They'll get off the Black Hole. It's onto DDC. Can they actually kill this knight? Oh, fair! Triple kills, baby! Finding the ball. Pippin is down as well. Ultra kill. They do manage to burst the Aegis here. LGD's chasing. RTZ, the lonely boy, all on his own here. LGD looking to finish this whenever they can find it. RTZ's trying to buy space, trying to buy time, but BAM! Rampage for baby! He's done it! They've done it! LGD destroying EG in the final few minutes of the game 2 is over. We're going to a game 3, Lumi. What a series it's been so far. I cannot wait. And our monitors have just died. It's that exciting. It doesn't matter. We can't see. I don't know if you can see us. I don't know if you can see LGD. They've got to be happy with that game. Sylar Morphling. HDMI Het Suhada.
Okay, is it Sylar Morphling or is it maybe?
Maybe TA. I think it's the combination. I think just the fact that you get those 2 players